Hey guys, Engineer Wannabe here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the SLA037J1. This is the Seiko 55th Anniversary Limited Edition re-release. It is one of Seiko's most expensive watches they offer, and it is a limited edition of 1,100 pieces. Just wanted to mention that this watch was loaned to me by Gem Bijou. If you want to purchase this piece, it is available at Gem Bijou. And of course, Gem Bijou and I started up a YouTube channel. We are collaborating over there. If you wanted to take a look at some of those videos, go ahead and take a look at the description. I will have a link there for you. So let's go ahead talk about this piece. I have not had this for as long as I usually have a watch before I do a review, but if you are interested in this piece, I might be able to give you some insight to it. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with the dimensions as usual. The diameter of this watch is around 39.5 millimeters, close to 40. The thickness is 14.5 millimeters, close to 15. Lug to lug is around 47 millimeters, and the lug width is 19. That might be a bit of a disappointment to some, but again, I've mentioned before, 19 millimeter straps are becoming quite abundant right now. Of course, that doesn't help people who have 20 millimeter strap collections like myself, but hey, if you want to do some hacking and bodging, I have a video on how you can modify them to 19. It won't look beautiful, but you'll be able to use them, right? So maybe go ahead and take a look at that. Anyway, this watch has the 8L55 high beat movement. It is beating at 10 ticks per second. As you can tell, the ticking is incredibly smooth. And that, of course, is part of the reason why this watch is so expensive. Another reason is the fact that it has Seiko's newest formulation of steel. They call it Ever Brilliant Steel, and it has a brighter shade. Forgive me for the fingerprints and smudges there, but it is also Zaratsu polished, so it's really difficult to keep pristine without any smudges and fingerprints. But so Ever Brilliant Steel, it looks a bit brighter, and it apparently is way more corrosion resistant, so you're paying for that. 30, 40, 50 years down the line, this might not look pitted and rusted and corroded like a lot of other vintage watches do that have been used. You know, like not the ones that have been stored in a drawer, but the ones that have been used look a little rough. This might not look that way, even if you do use it every day of your life. So that's another added benefit. Of course, I can't vouch for how it's going to look in 30, 40, 50 years, but that's at least the hope. The bezel is beautiful, if you want to take a listen. It sounds absolutely delightful. It doesn't line up perfectly, so you can tell the bezel was a little bit over to the right. Now it's a little bit over to the left. Oh, this one is really expensive. You could get an Omega Planet Ocean for this price, the previous generation. So that's going to be a sticking factor. I think I'm going to keep mentioning that. The price. It is expensive. Anyway, let's move on. The bezel is really a pleasure to use. It is slightly off kilter, as you can see there. Moving on, I believe the bezel insert is ceramic. It sure looks like it, and it sure feels like it, so I'm gonna say it is ceramic. The cheaper variants, the SPB variants of the 62 MAS recreation, has a steel bezel insert, which is different. Usually it's aluminum or aluminium, but here I believe it's ceramic. The case I mentioned earlier is Zaratsu polished and very finely done as well. You have strap tool apertures on the lugs so that you can exchange or change the straps out. I normally would be showcasing this on multiple different straps, but out of respect for the next owner, I'm not going to meddle with it at all. It is a shame that it doesn't come in a bracelet, just the silicone strap. We'll talk about the strap very soon, but a bracelet would have been nice at this price. Again, at this price, silicone is going to, degrade. It's going to deteriorate over time. Metal does not, and it would have been interesting to see an ever brilliant bracelet. Maybe that's going to come in the future. I do want to mention that this strap is really nice, though. It is one of the nicest feeling silicone straps I've ever handled. It's got a nice alternating hatch pattern here, as you can see. Very, very nice. Placed with the light even. And on the underside, of course, you have the holes and diamond waffle kind of like pattern channel thing that'll help alleviate sweat. Of course, you have perforations on this side too, which also would help alleviate sweat and water. It is dense. I'm not sure if that's a characteristic of ever brilliant steel, but you'd think this was a precious metal watch. It's really dense. It doesn't feel like steel. So that is something to note. With the strap, I think it weighs around 120 grams. So very dense, very heavy. I couldn't imagine what this would be like if it was all steel. It would probably weigh close to 200 grams. So maybe that was one of the reasons why these are only in silicone strap configurations. The lugs, I suppose, they are beautifully brushed, and it's brushed radially, as you can tell. It catches the light nicely when you might glance over at your watch, and that is a nice detail. Everything else, like I mentioned, is polished on the sides and on the fronts of the lugs. Beautiful Zaratsu polishing. The winding action on this movement is really nice as well. It is buttery smooth, and it provides just the right amount of feedback. It does remind me of my 9S movement Grand Seiko. It feels very, very similar to it. So I could see the rumor that this is a slightly dumbed down or slightly less decorated version of a 9S 85, 9S 86 movement. So here is a Lume shot for you guys who are interested in the Lume. It is excellent. It is very bright, and it lasts through the night without any hesitation. Beautifully done. Well, guys, that was a review of the SLA037J1. If you have any questions about it, leave me a comment, and I will try to answer it the best I can. But other than that, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.